Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Chef Vic Cuisine. Today, we're making tiramisu, an Italian coffee dessert with specific elevated orange notes. Try this airy tiramisu as the perfect nightcap to a full course meal. So, let's get started. So let's start this off with a really good tip on making tiramisu. Tiramisu is a simple dessert that really relies on the quality of its ingredients. So we're going to want to use high quality mascarpone cheese, eggs, ladyfingers, cocoa powder, and this first ingredient, espresso. In total, you're going to need 2 1/4 cups worth of espresso, and we're going to pour that into a wide, shallow bowl. We're also going to add 3/4 cup of Grand Marnier into the bowl as well. Whisk these two together until they're well combined. This is the mix we're going to use to coat our ladyfingers, and we can set this aside for now. Now in a separate large bowl, we want to whisk 16 ounces of mascarpone cheese with 1/4 cup of dark rum. Whisking these together until they're well combined. So take your time with this until the final consistency looks something like this. Now for this recipe, we're going to need 6 large eggs. And you want to make sure that your eggs are fresh, and it's always best to use pasteurized eggs for this recipe. But we're going to separate the egg yolks from the egg whites and place the egg yolks into a large bowl. And I like adding the egg whites into the bowl of a stand mixer so we can make our meringue using those. But into the bowl with the egg yolks, we want to add 2/3 cup of granulated white sugar and whisk the eggs and the sugar together until they're just combined. And you want to make sure that whatever bowl you're using for the egg and sugar mix is heat proof. Because now we want to turn a stovetop to high heat or 450 degrees Fahrenheit or 232 degrees Celsius and bring a pot of shallow water to a quick simmer. We want to place our heat-proof bowl over the simmering pot of water to create a double boiler. We want to also make sure that we don't allow the water in the bottom of the pot to touch the bottom of our heat-proof bowl. We want to whisk the egg and the sugar mix for about 5 minutes or until it slightly thickens and all the sugar has dissolved. And at the end, it should have this pale yellow appearance. We want to pour this mixture now into our mascarpone rum combo and whisk all these ingredients together until they're well combined. At the end, it should have a nice smooth consistency. And now you want to set this in the fridge while we create our whipped cream and meringue portions of this recipe. So starting off with the meringue, since we already have our egg whites in the bowl of a stand mixer, we want to add a large pinch of cream of tartar into the bowl as well. This will help stabilize our meringue. And we want to whisk this first on medium-low speed for about 1 minute or until the egg whites become foamy. Then we want to increase this speed to high and slowly pour in 1/3 cup of granulated white sugar into the bowl and continue to whisk this on high speed until stiff peaks form. And this should take roughly about 5 minutes, but we're ultimately looking for a consistency like this. Next up, we have our whipped cream, and for that, we want to pour in 2 cups worth of heavy whipping cream into the bowl of a stand mixer with 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. We want to initially mix this on medium-low speed for about 1 minute, and then we want to increase the speed to high and slowly add in 1/3 cup of granulated white sugar as well. With this bowl, we want to watch it carefully and stop whisking it once the stiff peaks form in the cream. If you overwhip this, you'll start making butter, and we don't want that. But once you start seeing peaks like this, your whipped cream is ready to go. With these first 3 elements complete, now we can move on to assembling our mascarpone filling. So we want to remove the mascarpone filling from the fridge, and it should be nice and cooled. And we want to add in our whipped cream and gently fold it into the mascarpone filling. trying to keep this mix as light and airy as possible, so gently fold it by scooping the batter from the bottom of the bowl, gently folding it over the mixture on top, continuously doing this until it's incorporated, and rotating the bowl as you fold the ingredients is a really good help in this process. Once the whipped cream is incorporated, now we want to add in our meringue and gently fold that into the batter as well. And once that's done, we have our mascarpone filling completed. We can put this in the fridge for now until we're ready to use it for the layering process. So for this tiramisu, we're going to need a 9-inch by 13-inch deep baking dish. And in total, we're going to need about 40 ladyfingers, give or take a few more. Now we want to dip the top and the bottom of our ladyfingers one at a time into our espresso mixture. These ladyfingers only need 1 second of dipping for both sides as they absorb liquid very quickly, and you don't want them to become soggy. Our first goal here is to place approximately 20 to 22 ladyfingers as a first layer in our deep baking dish pan. There shouldn't be any major gaps between the ladyfingers on this first layer. And once this first layer is complete, we want to add in half of our mascarpone filling on top of the ladyfingers and spread it evenly across the surface using an offset or rubber spatula. After spreading that evenly, you want to create another layer of ladyfingers, layering them this time perpendicular to the first layer you placed. And this should also take another 20 to 22 ladyfingers. Once this layer is complete, we want to spread on the rest of our mascarpone filling on top of this ladyfinger layer and do your best to create a flat, even top coat. Now we're going to gently sift a 1/3 cup of unsweetened cocoa powder over this top layer until it is completely covered with this thin layer of chocolate. You can also decorate this top layer with chocolate shavings or even fresh berries. We want to allow the tiramisu to set in the fridge overnight. The cocoa powder may absorb into the top mascarpone layer, so prior to serving this, you want to dust on some additional cocoa powder again. But allowing the tiramisu to rest allows it to taste even better the next day as it's had time to rest in the fridge. So if you can, make it a day ahead and let it rest overnight. Once it's chilled overnight, you can cut out the tiramisu in square pieces using a sharp, clean knife. Place this on your favorite serving dish and enjoy. And just like that, you've made tiramisu right at home. Always remember to keep the proportions right for these ingredients, and it's my hope that this recipe serves as one that you can trust. With little patience and attention to detail, you can make a delicious tiramisu that will really impress your guests. And this can always be made non-alcoholic as well by removing that Grand Marnier and dark rum and substituting that with 1 tablespoon of orange zest and 1 tablespoon of rum extract, respectively. But I really do love those boozy notes in each bite, and I think you will too. But as you can see, this is such a light and delicate dessert that truly melts in your mouth with every bite. So give this a try and tag me at Chef Vic Cuisine or hashtag Chef Vic Cuisine so I can see your great takes on this recipe, and I'd love to share them on my page as well. As always, this recipe and many more can be found in my cookbook, Chef Vic Cuisine Volume 3, Upgrading Your Inner Chef. And that's available on Amazon, and I'll be sure to leave a link to that in my description box. And feel free to click the pop-up on your screen for more information on that as well. Thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this recipe, and if you did, make sure you smash that like button for me. It's one of the best ways to show support for this channel. And if you're new to the channel, my name is Victor, and welcome to Chef Vic Cuisine. It's my goal to create new recipes each and every week that you can make for yourself, your family, or your friends. So if that sounds good to you, make sure you click that subscribe button too. And sharing is caring, so if you enjoyed this recipe and think someone else will too, feel free to share this with all your family and friends. And stay tuned for next week where I show you how to make an amazing French dessert, a Grand Marnier soufflé. Many find this challenging, but it's my goal to make this an easy recipe to make right at home. Well, thank you all again for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this recipe. You can always check out more recipes now on my page. YouTube thinks you'll like this video, so let's see if they're right. And I'll catch you next time on another episode of Chef Vic Cuisine. And until then, peace.